April 26, 1999. A bright morning in London's Fulham neighbourhood. Renowned TV presenter Jill Dando stepped outside her home, completely unaware that she was walking into one of Britain's most chilling, unsolved mysteries. Within moments, Jill was brutally murdered on her doorstep in broad daylight. The crime shocked the nation, sparking a media frenzy and one of the largest investigations in British history. But to this day, the case remains shrouded in mystery. Who killed Jill Dando, and why? This is Dark Britain Files. Chapter 1. Who was Jill Dando? To understand the magnitude of Jill Dando's murder, we need to know who she was.
In his last Christmas sermon before he retires, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Dr. Robert Runcie, has warned against the glamorization of war. He said,
Born on November 9, 1961, Jill Dando was a much-loved television personality. Known for her warm demeanor and impeccable professionalism, she quickly became one of the most recognized faces on British television. Hosting flagship programs like BBC's Crime Watch and Breakfast News, Jill was at the height of her career.
There is just one story this morning, the dramatic end of the Gorbachev era in the Soviet Union.
Even winning the BBC's Personality of the Year award in 1997. Jill wasn't just a TV star, she was a national treasure. Her charity work, including her involvement with cancer research and children's organizations, made her beloved by many. Jill's personal life seemed equally bright. At the time of her death, she was engaged to Dr. Alan Farthing, a well-known gynecologist. They were planning their wedding, and Jill had recently moved to a new home, which she rarely stayed in. A crucial detail in this story. Jill's life seemed like a fairy tale, but her tragic death revealed a much darker side of fame and life in the public eye. Chapter 2. What happened that day? On the morning of April 26, 1999, Jill Dando arrived at her Fulham home after spending the night at her fiancé's house. At approximately 11:30 a.m., Jill parked her car and walked to the front door. What happened next took just a matter of seconds, but changed everything. A man approached her from behind, forced her to the ground, and shot her in the head at point-blank range. The weapon, believed to be a modified semi-automatic pistol, was pressed against her temple, muffling the sound. Jill was left bleeding on her doorstep. The attack was quick, efficient, and left virtually no forensic evidence. A neighbor discovered Jill's body just 14 minutes later.
Did you hear a man's voice or anything like that?
No man's voice at all.
And did you hear a shot or did you...
There was no shots. That's what I would say was a shot. I wouldn't have thought there was a shot, no.
From your assessment, what appeared to have happened to her?
She was obviously attacked, and whether she was attacked with a knife or whether she was attacked with some sort of instrument, but she certainly... She is obviously very shocked what happened, and...
She was conscious, she was talking?
She wasn't conscious when I saw her.
And emergency services rushed to the scene, but it was too late. Jill Dando was pronounced dead at the hospital.
Jill Dando arrived here by ambulance at 12:30 p.m. Despite all efforts by hospital paramedics, ambulance paramedics and hospital medical staff, she was certified dead at 1:03 p.m.
Police immediately cordoned off the area, and media outlets swarmed to cover what would become one of the most high-profile crimes in modern British history. But who could have done this? And why? Chapter 3. The investigation, dead ends and suspects. The murder triggered one of the largest inquiries in Metropolitan Police history. Detectives initially believed it could be a professional hit. The execution was quick, precise, and left little evidence behind. However, as the investigation unfolded, a variety of theories and suspects came to light. One of the most prominent suspects was Barry George, a local man with a history of erratic behavior and criminal activity. George was known to have an obsession with celebrities, and his home was littered with clippings of famous women. Police arrested him, and he was convicted in 2001. Largely based on a single particle of gunshot residue found in his pocket. But this evidence was flimsy at best. George's conviction was overturned in 2008 due to a lack of substantial evidence, leaving the case unsolved once again. Other theories pointed to Jill's work on Crime Watch, a program that highlighted unsolved crimes. Could someone she helped expose have sought revenge? Another chilling theory involved Serbian nationalists. Weeks before Jill's murder, NATO bombed Serbia during the Kosovo conflict. Jill's high profile as a British media figure made her a symbolic target. A threatening letter was even sent to the BBC, claiming responsibility for her death on behalf of the Serbs. Despite these leads, police struggled to find concrete evidence. The murder weapon was never recovered, and no witnesses could provide a clear description of the suspect. Chapter 4. Theories and unanswered questions. Theories about Jill Dando's murder continue to captivate true crime enthusiasts and investigators alike. One theory revolves around a stalker. As a public figure, Jill had fans, but some crossed the line. She received letters from admirers and unwanted attention from individuals who were fixated on her. Could her murderer have been an obsessed fan who took things too far? Another possibility is that Jill was killed by a hitman hired for reasons unrelated to her public life. Professional assassinations often leave little evidence, and the efficiency of her murder points to this. Some experts believe the answer lies closer to home, perhaps in her personal or professional relationships. Jill was planning her wedding and had recently moved to a house she barely stayed in. Was this a random attack, or did someone know she would be there that day? The case also raises questions about the role of media and public attention. The intense coverage put immense pressure on police to find a culprit, which may have clouded the investigation. Some critics argue the focus on Barry George as a suspect came at the expense of exploring other leads. And then, there's the question of justice. Over 2 decades later, Jill's family and friends remain without closure. The Metropolitan Police officially marked the case as unsolved, but it's far from forgotten. Theories continue to circulate, and new information occasionally surfaces, though nothing has led to a breakthrough. Jill Dando's murder is one of Britain's most enduring mysteries. The circumstances of her death, the lack of evidence, and the abundance of theories have kept the case in the public eye for over 20 years. What do you think happened to Jill Dando? Was it a random act of violence? A professional hit? Or something else entirely? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more true crime mysteries. This is Dark Britain Files, uncovering the stories that refuse to be forgotten.